was first published in 2004. And to my mind, it was perhaps the very first biography of Gulzar Saab that was published at that point. 14 years have gone by, and as Meghna ji says very eloquently in the book, a lot of things change, but nothing changes. But a lot of things have happened. I mean, Meghna ji herself has grown as a filmmaker over the last 1.5 decades. She's now very well known for her latest film, Razi, before that Talwar, before that Filhal. Gulzar Saab has grown in his stature as a poet, lyricist. He has had filmic collaborations. He hasn't made a new film in the last 14 years, but he's had several filmic collaborations. So as a filmmaker, screenwriter, his reputation has only grown over time. And 14 years is a long time. Many things happen, and it is a biography. And we thought it would be a good idea to try and bring it up to date to the extent possible. So a lot of new pictures were added, a lot of new chapters were added, and Meghna ji very kindly consented to bring the story up to date. And so what you have with you today is the new version of Because He Is, which is still the same book, but it is in a new avatar. And we are absolutely delighted to, alongside, simultaneously publish the Hindi version of Because He Is, Wo Jo Hai, and both books are being launched together here. Both are HarperCollins publications. Now, I have, in the course of what I've already said, I've sort of given an introduction to Gulzar Saab and to Meghna ji, and neither of them, of course, need an introduction. I am also really pleased that Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra ji, reputed director of Ux, Delhi 6, Rang De Basanti, Bhag Milkha Bhag, and his Mirzia, which Gulzar Saab wrote, and very interesting forthcoming film also, which I will not talk about, which you will hear about in due course. Thank you so much. Congratulations, Meghna ji. Congratulations, Gulzar Saab. Rakesh ji, over to you. Thank you.
शुक्रिया, ये ऊपर करके निकल गई है थोड़ा सा. Thank you, thank you. That's right.
Thank you everybody for coming here and sharing this moment with me. Very few get the privilege or the opportunity to experience a full life once. Fewer get to do it twice. I had the opportunity to experience his full life, not once, but twice,
Thank you.
during the second edition of this book. And the experience has been extremely insightful and gratifying for me, because I got to know him and understand him better as a person, as a father, as a creative soul. And I really hope that you all get the same as I did. You actually stolen my lines that I wanted to say, which was my poem, which has appeared in the audiovisual, so now I will let that go. Yeah, it's the only poem of mine which has ever been published. It's in the book, and yeah.
I think we all love books, and that's why we work in publishing. And there are very few moments amongst the thousands of books we publish, the thousands of stories we read, the thousands of lives we read about, that you get the honor and privilege of seeing in such close quarters a life like Gulzar Saab's. I would be embarrassing if I say more, but every time we go to his house or we discuss, it's the library that he sits around itself is like a mecca for somebody who loves books, right? And then every page, every word, every photograph, you know that there is only passion for words and literature. The book is just an end product in that sense. This is a distill of the life that both of them have led. Really privileged to be part of that journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Anandji, and thanks to, for HarperCollins to take it up like this, and Anand's personal interest into it. The way he was looking after it and was also following it up and pursuing me. Actually, he was to pursue the author. The author was making a film at that time, and till she got a little more time, and then she got back into it and did her work in her time. And thanks, Rakesh, to you, since you know you're of my daughter's generation, making films. I'm an old timer now. So it's not that I have to lead the way. I have to look at this generation to lead me, and that is their responsibility. So थोड़ी सी मेरी जिम्मेवारी उससे कम हो जाती। माफ़ कीजिए, मैं हिंदी में बीच में बोलूँगा क्योंकि वो आसानी हो जाती। सारी पूरी बात अंग्रेजी में कहना मुश्किल होता है। और बहुत कम मौके होते हैं, बहुत कम मौके मिलते हैं कि किताब खुद personified बैठ के अपने author के पास और उसे देखे. It's up to the author to read me, to narrate me, and to expose me. So this is what has happened in the book. I'm the subject. लेकिन ये कि उम्मीद थी कि थोड़ी नरमी बरतेंगी मेरी जो बेटियां हैं, जो ऑथर हैं, और कहीं कुछ मेरी कमजोरियां में छुपा लेंगी, कुछ पहलू नहीं जिक्र करेंगी। लेकिन जिस ईमानदारी से लिखी है, मुझे उस ईमानदारी के सामने इज्जत के साथ मानना होता है, and I give her respect for that, and that's what I have mentioned here. I respect her for that honesty. मैंने कोशिश की है कि जब वो सवाल पूछती थी तो मैंने कोई चीज़ छुपाने की कोशिश नहीं की, लेकिन ये कि अपना लहजा कभी नरम कर लिया, कभी ऊंचा कर लिया, कभी आँख मिला के बात कर ली, कभी आँख झुका के बात कर ली, लेकिन छुपाया कुछ नहीं कभी भी। वो ईमानदारी, because she could get it out of me, because I knew she is too honest. and आसानी नहीं है उस बात को फेस करना। ईमानदारी अपने आप सब कहलवाती है, और कहलवाना भी क्या था, मुझसे पूछना कम था, उन्हें कहना ज़्यादा था कि पूरी किताब में मुझे वो पर्सपेक्टिव अच्छा लगा कि मैं जब से देख रही हूँ ऐसा कुछ हुआ है। ये नहीं कि मेरा माजी क्या था, मैं कहाँ से आया और कहाँ पैदा हुआ और कहाँ, लेकिन मुझे मेघना जी की ये अप्रोच और ये नज़रिया बहुत अच्छा लगा। जैसे हम लाड से बोस्की ही कहते हैं, बट ऑथर की तरह से मुझे ख्याल है एक दो बार बीच में मेघना जी कह दूँ तो बेहतर है, ऑथर को इज्जत देनी चाहिए, है ना।
But it took me a while to get used to that. ये क्या हो गया?
नहीं, थोड़ी तो इज्जत ऑथर की मैं दे लूँ, उसके बाद फिर आ जाऊँगा उस औकात पे, हम दोनों आ जाएंगे। लेकिन ये कि मैंने कैसे देखा है इन्हें और मेरे साथ क्या क्या करते रहे, और या मैं क्या क्या देखती रही हूँ बहुत ईमानदारी से। और मैं इसमें पता नहीं कहीं जिक्र है शायद या नहीं, बात हुई थी एक बार कि अब ये स्कूल में थी और स्कूल में आपस में इनके बहुत सी ज़रूरियात होती हैं, बहुत सी ख्वाहिशात होती हैं, बहुत से दोस्तों के साथ मिले हुए, तो इन्होंने मुझसे पैसे मांगे और मैं इन्हें ना नहीं करना चाहता था और ना कह दूँ, तो मैं मुड़ के चला गया आपसे। एंड आई फाइंड अ नोट ऑन माई टेबल, माई फादर इज कनिंग, आई आस्क फॉर मनी एंड ही इज रनिंग। So I think we carried that kind of honesty between us. Yeah, and she knew how to put it, and she knew the weak points. कहाँ से क्या बात कहलवाने के अलावा अगर पैसे निकलवा सकते हैं तो बात तो कहलवा ही लेते हैं। That's how it is. And मैं इसमें से निकल जाऊँ और it should be between the author and
यहीं से शुरू करें।
राकेश जी, मुझे गवाह के तौर पे जरूरत पड़े तो बुला लीजिए।
I have a feeling that I'm going to be very uncomfortable with your questions. You can. There's another poem of mine which is much nicer, which you can start with.
We'll come to that also. So whenever me and Bosky, whenever we meet, there's a twinkle in our eyes, both eyes, and he's the twinkle. So,
absolutely, he's the common reason.
So I'll elaborate on what Zarbai was saying. So he says, I was going in for a bath one day when she asked me for money, which I refused her. Kanjus the shuru se hi, so he refused. I came out of my bath and there was a letter on my table, properly signed by her. I have a father who gives me money. I hate him, not rather. He loves me as honey. I love my father too. He polishes my shoes. Shoe. He's sometimes sweet, sometimes funny, but today I want money. So away he's running. Now, I think Meghna, you were 9 years old when you wrote this? 8 years. तो शुरू से कंजूस थे कि मतलब?
नहीं, एक्चुअली कंजूस तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं थे। आई थिंक मम्मी से उस वक्त बात हुई होगी, इनकी डांट पड़ी होगी कि देखो आप बिगाड़ रहे हो। तो उस दिन आई थिंक फॉर अ चेंज उन्होंने फैसला किया कि नहीं, मैं इसको इसकी कोई बात एक बात तो मना कर दूँ। आई थिंक ये उसका नतीजा है।
मैं बच्चा बिगाड़ूंगा जो नो ऑलवेज एंड आज भी यही है। अब मैं इनको जो बिगाड़ सकता था वो बिगाड़ दिया था, अब मैं इनके बच्चे को बिगाड़ा सकता हूँ।
अब मुझसे डांट पड़ती है।
So, in your own words, I would like to hear, I know I'm protected.
Which is all I wanted to say. No, I know it. I know. So, yeah, this kind of surmises what I feel for him and what I actually felt after I finished putting this manuscript together. 14 years ago, and I'm thankful to HarperCollins, to all of you, and to Shantanu for for his patience with me while I was making Razi and putting this book together. It opened with this poem. This is the only poem of mine which will ever be published. I'm a very private person. I don't publish my poetry, but this one needed to be out there. And it goes like this. I know I'm protected because his arms cradle me. I know I'll walk the right path. His little finger leads me. He dabbles in celluloid, so I know I can see. I know I can write because his ink flows in me. I know I can because he believes. I know I am because he is.
Speechless. Only Meghna could say because his ink flows in her. Only she has the right to say because his ink flows in me. I am not the right one. You could say that. You are the only person in the world. How? What does that make you?
No, it's the first question I'm asked is that it must be so. It must be such a pressure, to be his daughter. Particularly also because we are in the same line of work. But for me, it has only always been a matter of pride. And I think it's so nice because that the innocence that a child has, because I was completely oblivious to his persona, his fame, his art and how good he is for a very long time of my childhood. I mean, a child becomes aware of these things only when they're 13, 14, 15 years old. By which time, you've developed an intimate and a one-on-one and a real relationship with your parent. And it's with the father that he is, not the writer, the filmmaker, the author, the poet. And from there came an immense love. Then you start realizing who he actually is and what he does, and then came that immense awe. Which is actually a very big reason he complains that I never share my scripts with him while we are a work in progress. But it's because of that awe. I don't want to constantly be thinking, what will he be thinking? Should I write it like this? How would he write it? Better है पहले खुद खत्म कर लो, फिर उनको दे दो कि मतलब पसंद आई नहीं आई, अच्छी लगी बुरी लगी, but at least एक बार पूरी तो करनी है.
हाँ, वैसे ये सच है कि ये मुझे अपने काम में दखल नहीं देने देती और बड़ी अच्छी बात है. जब ये लिख रही होती हैं तो मैं झांकने भी नहीं देती, मना कर देते हैं. नहीं, मैं लिख लूँ फिर उसके बाद आपको दिखा दूँ, और अच्छी बात है, उसमें कोई दखल नहीं देना चाहता. लेकिन मुझे इस किताब में खास तौर पर जिस तरह से उन्होंने देखा, तो इट्स अ रेवोल्यूशन टू मी ऑल्सो कि हाउ हैव आई अपीयर्ड टू हर as she has grown up, and it's very, very interesting for any parents to know. क्योंकि वो पूछा नहीं जा सकता, वो हिसाब नहीं लगाया जा सकता, but to know it how I have been looked upon as from my children, from my child, I think it's a very beautiful thing to learn from me. और उसमें ये चीज़ मैंने ये भी देखा है, और जो बात बहुत अच्छी लगी थी मुझे आपकी इस किताब में, वो ये थी कि मेरा बर्ताव क्या है, मेरा सलूक क्या है, या मेरा बिहेवियर क्या है, या मैं कैसे घर वालों से बिहेव करता हूँ, या नौकरों से बिहेव करता हूँ, या एम्प्लॉयड से बिहेव करता हूँ, या बॉस के साथ बिहेव करता हूँ, या कहानी कहते हुए या नज्म लिखते हुए कैसे बिहेव करता हूँ. लेकिन ये कि कहीं वो दबाव इन पर कहीं नहीं नज़र आया, और वो बहुत ही खूबसूरत बात है. इन्होंने कहीं ये नहीं देखा कि ये प्रेसिडेंट से मिले हैं या प्राइम मिनिस्टर से मिले हैं या फलाने से, और इसलिए इस किताब में कोई ऐसी तस्वीरें नहीं है. इट्स ऑल अबाउट मी, माय फ्रेंड्स, माय फैमिली एंड दैट वर्ल्ड दैट आई लिव इन. उसमें वो कोई तमगे नहीं दिखाए हुए, या कि मैं इतनी आई थिंक आई मेट नंबर ऑफ प्रेसिडेंट्स एंड रिस्पेक्ट एंड मैनी people who are known and who are bigger than me, and I met some great people. Lekin ye कि it is not that she was impressed by that. She was only finding out what does he do, and whether she likes it or doesn't like it. That is what has come out from the book. And I'm quite happy about that part. She looked at the whole thing directly from her own perspective, from her own point of view. That's the most beautiful thing about this book, I think.
In fact, she's written about, I have a very fond memory of Gulzar. Besides being a very fortunate neighbor, every alternate Sunday, I see him on his balcony like a cowboy. You know, actually, from the west, with his legs perched up, and his favorite barber giving him a shave. He never shaves himself. So yes, she's caught that in the book, and hasn't caught him shaking hands with the President of India, and the Dada Sai Phalke, and the Oscars, and the national awards. But yes, the barber is giving him a shave. That's incredible. There are some lovely anecdotes, there's some lovely observations. I think there is a person, you know, there is Gulzar, and then there is a Gulzar, the person behind the person. And what I think, Meeta, you achieved so beautifully is, and pardon my saying so, she's found the Pyaz wala Gulzar. खोलते जाओ, खुलते ही जाता है. There is, the layers are not ending on it. So it's incredible, because normally we say कि बरगद के नीचे कुछ बड़ा नहीं होता, बरगद की छांव. But and history tells us that. You see the greatest of the personalities, and somehow, you know, their children don't blossom the way. But here we have something so unique, because you are not only taking the baton, but you're going somewhere else altogether with your own expression in cinema, which is very different from his, which is totally different, your storytelling. So, how did he nurture, and how did you nurture the individuals?
I think what Udyan said, you know, and it didn't strike me, because only when he mentioned it back to back did it occur to me that I have said that I am because he is, and he has said that I am his mirror. It's been such a symbiotic relationship. It's not one of a parent and a child. It is completely symbiotic. We grow from each other, we feed off each other. Raising me, he's exposed me to every form of creative pursuit. Exposed, matlab he threw me in there. He painting bhi kar lo, kathak bhi seekh lo, ballet bhi kar lo, karate bhi kar lo, music bhi kar lo, piano bhi kar lo, tabla bhi baja lo, sitar bhi baja lo. Never forced कि नहीं पूरा करना है, शुरू कर लो, then you decide. Because he always believed that